Hello ladies and gentlemen, Xcentauri here and welcome back to another video, and I hope all of you are doing well because I'm as always. And in this video we're going to be discussing the Concorde and Infinite Flight. Now this has been a topic that I've been fully aware of in Infinite Flight for many years now. It's one of the most highly ever requested aircraft to ever be wanted in Infinite Flight, and you know, you guys as an audience here at Infinite Flight and as many of you being community members would have seen the vast amount of requests for such a mammoth aircraft over the years. Now, what you guys are probably wondering, as well as what I'm doing right now, is I'm going to try and take a 777 up to supersonic speeds here in Infinite Flight. And the way I'm going to do that is by reducing the weight to pretty much 0 and hoping this aircraft can just propel itself. So we've got Mach 0.33 at the moment, and we're just going to keep on climbing and get as high as we can. Now, before we continue on about the Concorde, if you guys are new here, please feel free to like and subscribe, especially if you're like brand new here, it's your first time on the channel. We're growing very quick and we're pushing on towards getting to 6k, so hopefully we can get there as soon as possible. Now, I am fully aware we are over speeding. We're not on a live server, so we're not going to get any violations, which is absolutely fine. Look at that lovely engine view here. Now, the Concorde has been addressed by Infinite Flight developers, some important members of the team, or higher up, shall we say, of the staff as well here at Infinite Flight. Now, the Concorde is an extremely complicated aircraft. You can see here in the 777, you know, it's complicated in its own way, but there's nowhere near the amount of buttons as the Concorde, because the Concorde's got all of this, but there are no screens, they're all buttons and dials, like an old 747, I suppose. And then obviously on the back here, it's got a whole nother screen full of buttons and stuff. And I think, of course, that is very hard. Now, we're at Mach 0.88 here as well, so hopefully we can we keep on increasing. What I'm going to do is we're going to go absolutely vertical, get as high as we can, and then hopefully it'll be easier for us to do. Now, what was said about the Concorde, now I'm going to read it all out to you right now, and it says, one of their top requests is that you can see from the stats, the legendary Concorde is one of the most requested aircraft here on Infinite Flight. Now, they are very aware that it's an iconic plane, I think everyone is, and it's got an iconic place in the aviation history, as it was obviously a supersonic passenger jet airliner. Now, it would be very interesting if it ever came to the flight, but it would also be extremely challenging, especially from a developer's point of view, as they would have to deal with all sorts of things to bring this aircraft in. It would probably break Infinite Flight. Like, imagine if we had a Concorde down there at London Heathrow, down there. Imagine that on training server or even casual server. It would be manic, but I think everyone would definitely fly the Concorde and it'd be very popular. Now, the sheer number of 3D artist hours that it would take to build the Concorde in Infinite Flight would be ridiculous. It would take years. I don't know, years might be a bit of an exaggeration, but it would definitely feel like it would take years. Now, my reason for saying this is because I really do think that the Infinite Flight development team are very good, very hard working, but you know, there's not millions of them, and they don't all have, you know, the time to spend it on just one singular aircraft. And I think that's very reasonable, and of course I do understand that, and as I expect, most of you guys should be able to understand that as well. And I'm going to start bringing down the vertical speed here on the aircraft. So it wasn't a very easy choice for the Infinite Flight development team to say they had, but they have removed the Concorde from any consideration to being added to Infinite Flight. Now, they stated this back in 2019 because the sheer detail and the sheer quality that would be expected from us as Infinite Flight users would be incredible. And obviously, they felt like they are unable to produce that at the time when they put out the statement. Obviously, that statement being 4 years ago, over 4 years ago now. The quality and ramp in Infinite Flight has, you know, significantly improved, and they might even feel like they're even less able to do it at that quality now. Who knows? But it'd be great if we can see that soon. So obviously they've all done in-house discussions or whatever they said, but they don't want to be putting out a low resolution, a low quality aircraft to us in Infinite Flight, which I suppose makes sense because considering the amount of money that a lot of pro users are paying. Like, a lot of money, quite a few users here are paying here on Infinite Flight. You know, and I understand if they don't want to be getting poor quality aircraft. So I do understand that. So they've closed any requests for the Concorde on Infinite Flight. and they've closed it until there is a point where the Concorde may be feasible to be added into infinite flight, which again, very, very reasonable. Now, if the Concorde were to be added to infinite flight, you would see many aircraft doing flights transatlantic, taking on these paths here, as you can see that we've got one there. And I think a lot of people would definitely be doing that. Now, are we going to reach Mach 1? No, we're stuck at Mach 0.92, which is fine, because what I'm going to do is we're just going to nosedive. So we're now going to increase our speed to be on Mach 1 while talking about the Concorde. So we've just nosedived. Now hopefully we're at Mach, you guys can see it. We're at Mach 1 now. We've successfully exceeded Mach 1, which I'm very proud of. Now we could probably land at Mach 1. Is there an airport near here? There's a little airfield off to our left. We're probably not going to make that airfield. We're at Mach 1.15 now. We're just going to pull up slowly, and we're going to see the aircraft lose a lot of its speed during this now. Yeah, there we go. But we were supersonic for a bit of a descent. We're now at Mach 0.93, and we're just zooming along as fast as we possibly can. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now let's try a loop-de-loop. So obviously when the Concorde enters infant flight, I got very distracted there trying to do a loop-de-loop, and now we're probably going to crash. But I think the Concorde, we can see it in infant flight in the future, but not the near future, and probably not the far future. I feel like we won't see it until many of the aircraft that we currently have in infinite flight are updated. So if I was you as a pilot in infinite flight, don't get any hopes up, because I don't see it coming to infinite flight for at least 5 years minimum. I know that's a ridiculous statement and it sounds stupid, but I'd much rather see all of the current aircraft in infinite flight put up to the great standard of this Supersonic 777 we're using right now. I think that would be a much better thing for the team to be focused on, and I think that would be much better personally. I think it'd also be cool to see some more general aviation be added to infinite flight. I know I've literally never said that. I've always complained about general aviation in infinite flight. But again, it's something that I think would be great to see added to infinite flight in the future. So we're just trying to control and stabilize out this aircraft here using the autopilot, and we've managed to do it. Incredible. Okay, so if you guys did enjoy the video and you found it somewhat useful, please do make sure you like and subscribe. I mean, we seem to be headed back towards Heathrow for some reason. I didn't even plan on that, but we can head back there, and I'll land the plane after the video. But yeah, hopefully you guys found it very helpful, some very helpful news. Don't expect the Concorde any soon. I feel like we're more likely to get the ATR 72 before the Concorde anyway, especially due to the high request of the Concorde. So other than that, I will see you all in my next video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and have a lovely evening. Good night.